Hi everyone, thank you for being here today. My name is Filip Lilja and I am co-founder and VP at Einride. I'm here today to talk about what we at Einride do, but first, transportation. It's something special. It enables us to take on almost every project imaginable, and the flow of goods is crucial for our society. But the thing is that road freight transport has not changed in a long, long time. And that is a problem. I think that this picture symbolizes how we see transport. Transportation today is inefficient and unsustainable. And road safety has always been a concern. For example, texting and driving, drinking and driving, even falling asleep behind the wheel. And transportation is inefficient because most trucks run almost empty. And that is a waste of money, a big waste of money. And emissions from combustion engines are bad for the environment and it's toxic for us. 5 billion barrels a year. 5 billion barrels of oil each year. That is what the transportation industry is responsible for. That's a lot of oil and a lot of exhausts. That means that the transportation industry is responsible for approximately 7% of the total global CO2 emissions. It's a huge challenge for the world. And we need to change this, not just for me or for you, but for coming generations. And if we have the knowledge, we have an obligation to do something about it. We have an opportunity to build something new, something good for the environment, and to do that with a strong and solid business case. Einride is the first company to take advantage of groundbreaking technology and combine it and develop a new solution. We call it intelligent movement. It's a new type of ecosystem, and together with people, organizations, and companies who believe in a better alternative for road freight transport. Einride's solution is the AET system, Autonomous Electric Transport System. Autonomous Electric. The core of Einride's solution is the EOS. It's Einride's operating system that enables every component in this system. As you can imagine, this is more than just a truck, more than just a vehicle or a pod. This is a new type of infrastructure that is both sustainable and also cost disruptive. So, the potential of this system has the ability to reduce carbon dioxide, CO2 emissions by 90%, reduce operating costs by 60%, and increase productivity by 200%. Reduce CO2s because it's electric, no combustion engine. Reduce the operating costs since we don't have a driver. We can optimize driving. And increase productivity since we can run it 24/7. The heart of Einride's solution is a full-stack software, and we develop and design reliable and scalable hardware that's manufactured by our customers, our partners. So, how does this work? Let me show you. Let's see. Okay, these were supposed to be a movie, but still, it's 3 steps. First, we have an initial assessment, where we go through the customer flows, how much goods that's transported, the CO2 emissions, everything. And then we look at, during step 2, on the infrastructure. Because together with our partners, we're able to supply complete infrastructure. It could be fleet control centers, charging stations, or even dedicated 5G networks. And during the 3rd step, we deploy our pods at the customer, on the ground, on road, transporting goods, sustainable and cost disruptive. So, how far have we come? We work with global customers like DB Schenker and the Michelin Group, and also one of the biggest US retailers. And we were first to market with an autonomous electric truck. And we were first to put an electric autonomous truck on public road in a commercial flow. And we did this year. We were first. This picture shows you some of our customers and some of our partners. But it also shows 2 of my favorite quotes. One is from Washington Post. Swedish startup Einride could soon disrupt the transportation industry. And the second one is from renowned professor Johan Rockström and Börje Ekholm, CEO of Ericsson. Such a sustainable and cost-competitive solution may replace more than 60% of today's transport impact. I'm from Sweden, and I don't like to brag because Swedes don't do that. But I must say that I am extremely proud of what we have accomplished this far. Einride is combining new technology and creating a new solution to save the world one route at a time. Thank you.
Thank you, Filip. Really appreciate you being here. They're really multitasking because Robert Falk, the other co-founder and CEO of Einride's, confirming a very important customer contract in the US with a large retailer and got pulled in. So they're really trying to figure out how Einride can be at multiple places at the same time. So appreciate you being here. All electric, fully autonomous road freight transportation system. Those are a lot of keywords in one place. So I'd like to break it down a little bit. Electric and autonomous. Why the combination of the 2?
Well, combining electric enables, we can optimize driving in a way that is impossible with a traditional truck. For example, we can remove the driver's cab that makes the vehicle much lighter. We can also drive 24/7, which means that we don't have to stop for breaks or rest. And the driver doesn't have to wait for the vehicle to get charged. And by combining autonomous and electric, we enable the business case for going sustainable.
So is the electrification of autonomy the key driver here? Is the electric component what supports the autonomous component?
Yeah. Study shows that with autonomous technology, traffic flows would increase. That means by just putting autonomous technology in conventional cars with combustion engine, the impact on the environment will be even greater than today. So we have a chance here, I believe, to do something right from the beginning. And I believe that we should have policies that only permits autonomous technology for companies that uses renewable and sustainable energy. Because if we don't, the impact on the environment and the health will be even greater than it is today.
Thank you. We're proud supporters of Einride, being one of your investors from Plum Investments, and have really appreciated what you're doing, which is quite different than what we see in the marketplace. I think you're on a panel in a few minutes with other individuals playing in the space of electrification and autonomy. A lot of players actually focused on cars, commercial, the front end component of it. You guys actually focused on the back end component of it,
Yep.
really with a single-minded mission of disrupting logistics. Why trucking?
Well, first, it's less complex traffic situations. It's outside city centers, it's between warehouses, there's no people involved inside the truck, and the flows are predictable. Driving from point A to point B doesn't require the flexibility that consumers others would have. And since nearly 70% of the tonnage of all freight here in the US is on trucks or goes by truck, and there's almost 60,000 open driving positions. The market, we don't have to wait for the market. The market is there for us, and we can start directly.
Those are some very fascinating data. So you said 70%, almost more than 2/3, or about 2/3 of goods just in the US hit the road at any given point.
Yes.
Wow.
On trucks.
And I think I also read some data points that showed that the road freight transportation industry in the US is larger than our petroleum and gas industry put together. So
Yeah.
the work you're doing is very instrumental to a $1 trillion industry and business. So thank you for that. I think we've got 2 minutes left, so I can take a couple of questions from the audience. It's hard to see if it, yes.
Yep.
Be very helpful for an autonomous vehicle because there's no one to service it immediately. So have you had any conversations with them about using airless tires or the future of that?
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and repeat the question just so everyone can hear it. The question was Einride's partnership with Michelin, where Michelin is actually working on an airless tire, which will allow for the tire to function with 100% capacity and the highest efficiency.
Yes, that's correct. We're having discussions with Michelin, with their smart tires, but exactly what type of discussions we're having is between us, of course, but yes, we're having discussions with them about smart tires, yes.
Yes.
You mentioned about 24/7 you can use it. How are you ensuring charging 24/7?
Great question. So the question was, all electric autonomous helps capitalize on a 24/7 productivity, which is one of the data points you mentioned, increasing productivity by 200%. The question is, how do you involve or determine charging time with running a 24/7 cycle?
It's of course depending on what type of flows we're using the pods in, but we can charge during unloading and loading, for example. That means we can operate it 24/7.
In one specific customer case, the charging time for a full Einride truck is roughly about a few hours to up to 4 to 6 hours versus a downtime of an entire period of 8 to 12 hours. So you're really increasing the effectiveness, driving into productivity at that level. Okay, I see zeros. That means our time's up. Thank you, everyone. And Filip's going to go ahead and stay back for the next panel discussion, so enjoy.
Thank you.